I'm a teacher. My students are engaged. They find the content relevant. They are becoming self-actualized. But how did I get here? Let's break it down and go over some essential questions. Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start, except when you're backwards planning. EQ number 1. What atmosphere facilitates powerful learning? From the first day of class, you should strive to build community. You can listen to Deb and play Where the Big Wind Blows, or you can take a tip from Sue. Draw a pig, she said. We said, what? And Kyle did this. But most importantly, be a fish. Those guys in Seattle know what they're doing. Oh, and don't forget to do CPR in your classroom. Wait, not that kind of CPR.
The next EQ is number 2. Who am I? As a teacher, that is. Take Julie, for example. Understanding who she is, her color, her learning style, her background, etc., enables her to be a better teacher. If she understands who she is, she can begin to understand who her students are.
After EQ number 2 comes, you guessed it, EQ number 3. Who are my students? Now that you know who you are, you better figure out who your students are because it's all about them. Well, and Sue. Think about it this way. The art of knowing your students can fit into just one pie. Well, or 8 of them. Though every pie may taste a bit different, here's a basic recipe you can follow. You'll need 8 tablespoons of diversity, 1 cup of physical development. This one can get a bit stinky. Don't be alarmed. Half a cup of intellect, 24 teaspoons of emotions. It seems like a lot, but you'll see. 1 liter of social development. Be warned, this can get a little out of hand and the bowl may overflow. And finally, add a dash of morals.
Now that you've created these delicious pies, it's time to move on to EQ number 4, what's worth learning. Let's quick recap. You now know both yourself and your students, so we can officially get down to business. What's really worth learning? To get your students to care, you gotta write a good EQ. But not just any EQ, an REQ. It's gotta be relevant. Think about it this way. If Mickey wouldn't okay it, you better go back to the drawing board. Because it's more than you knowing it's relevant. Your students need to know it too. Hence, the magnificent compelling why. 1. Tell them a story about them. 2. Connect this story to the REQ. And 3. Throw in some content. The result? A self-actualized student who can participate in a democratic society.
Moving right along to EQ 5. How do we know our students are learning? Good assessment requires variety. Try using this scoring guide to help you accomplish that. Use of both formative and summative assessment, 10 points. Focus on progress, 20 points. Inclusion of both formal and informal assessment, 10 points. And lastly, be explicit, a whopping 60 points. Use this scoring guide to help you collect student data. Even you can do action research. And, when in doubt, don't be afraid to offer a redo.
Now, on to EQ number 6. We're almost done. Hang in there. If you quit now, you won't know how learning activities should be organized. There are a bunch of tools you can use to accomplish this organization. Speaking of which, the tools of inquiry are a good place to start. There are also a ton of reading strategies you can use, pre, post, and during. Don't forget, every teacher is a reading teacher.
And last but not least, EQ number 7. How do I demonstrate collaborative leadership? Note, it is now time to put on your disposition pants, everyone. A good teacher should always, 1. Accept responsibility for self and take on responsibility for others. 2. Strive for shared understanding. 3. Seek beneficial solutions. 4. Display perseverance for projects and interpersonal relationship management. And 5. Demonstrate passion for excellence. In short, make the world more awesome.